covering entering returns, entering point of sale information, which is also known as transactional data, or delivery. So any of those three terms refer to the same thing, entering point of sale. I'm going to show you how to use the new live point of sale reports to monitor and reconcile so that you can make sure everything's entered correctly. And along the way, and hopefully at the end, we'll still have some time to talk about monitoring trade compliance and obtaining licenses. So hopefully all of you have been into DSLink. I usually get on by going to the Dow website and clicking the link at the top right. But you should always save the link. So let's just do that. So as I said, I go in by clicking that link at the top corner. But you can copy and paste the link from here and save it somewhere so that if the Dow Seeds website itself happens to be down, you can still get into DSLink by that direct link. So then you just enter your username and password. And it takes you to the home page. I would urge everyone to check the home page frequently for new messages. The last one here was posted February 27th about contacting Ron Sullivan if you're not sure who your customer service rep is to talk to about shipments. I'm just going to log out of that one because I don't want to use that one. And we're going to go to our training on the demo site. So I said we were going to start with entering returns. So it's under the Admin tab, Manage Returns. The first thing you want to do, and it's large enough that you should notice it, is you want to read the messages that are on this page. So it will tell you return deadlines. Here you'll see we still have the winter wheat information posted. Corn and soybean information will be posted shortly. But same kind of information will be there. Remind you that it has to be current season product to be returned, that open and damaged bags are not allowed, and empty boxes must go on a separate report and not exceed 42. And I believe that's because that's how much will fit on a truck. So read and follow any instructions that are on here. And remember, any questions about returns, contact your CSR. So then up here, our first choice of options is Manage Return Inventory. And all this is a flat form, so nothing on here is editable, but it's a flat form that you can print. It's got all the products on it that you've received, so anything you've been invoiced for, and you just print a copy of this. And I've found on the demo site that sometimes the forms take a long time to load. But the intent of this form is simply to print a flat copy to take out to your warehouse, and then item by item you can enter in what product you have in the warehouse to be returned. So then you can take that sheet back into the office, and we'll show you the next step of actually entering the return. I'm really hoping the form will come up, but if not, it's just a flat form of everything you've received. Basically the same thing you'll find in your return form when you go into it. On the live site, it should generate a lot more quickly. But it generates as a PDF that can easily be printed. There we go. So here's the form. So as I said, it shows you line by line how much you've received of each product. And on this form, as well as the return form in DSLink, each line represents a line item on an invoice. So you have your lot number, and you have your invoice number, and the item number from the invoice. So you can print this off and then take it out and enter any numbers you have for returns. Okay, I'm going to close that out. So that's all that manage return inventory is about. So now we're going to go into the seeds return entry form. So it's just going to list again everything you've been invoiced for, whether it's a credit invoice or a charge invoice. So again, lot number is recorded here and invoice number is recorded here. And this is really the only place in DSLink that you can see that information. So you might have the same exact product. Trying to find one. So here we have winter wheat. It's all the same exact product. The GMIT, which is a global material ID number, 990293118. It's Ava with Vibrance. There's 2 lines because it came in on 2 different invoices. There will also be 2 lines if it was a different lot number on the same invoice. So again, each line represents a line on an invoice. It shows you what you've been invoiced. It shows you if you've been transferred in anything, or if you've been transferred out anything, or if you've been credited a return. Now, it does show that they've been credited for 10 units of this product. So you can see that here. So then all you need to do is, from that piece of paper you brought in from the warehouse, is enter anything you have to return. I do want to stress that this is in packaged units. So here it said they had 7 super boxes of this product. So if you have a super box to return, you would put 1 for 1 super box, not equivalent units. Down at the bottom is the box information. You should have an estimated quantity shipped. So this, just every time you get shipped one of these products that's in a super box, it should add 1 to your estimated quantity. Again, because I've entered some product here, I'm not going to enter boxes because Ron's instructions were to enter returns of boxes on a separate form. And then there's the Add More button. So I'm going to show you this because some of you might need to use it. You shouldn't have to use it except in a unique circumstance, such as you received a very late season transfer to help finish off a customer. So maybe your TSR dropped off some product last minute. So if the paperwork hasn't gotten to the office and actually been processed and you've been credited, that product will not show up on the return form. So again, the return form shows invoice product. But if you have it sitting in your warehouse to be returned, you can get it on this form by using that Add More button. So it looks like it just reset and didn't do anything, but if you slide down, you'll see now it's added this line for me to use. So from the drop down, I want to make sure I pick the right product. So this is soybeans, not seed stock soybeans, soybeans in bag. So that's the product I'm going to want to return. You want to put in a complete product description. So I'm going to say 5A075 RR2. And this is going to be Vibrance Max treatment. So you have to put enough information here that the CSRs know exactly what they're dealing with. And we need the lot number. CSRs cannot issue credit without this information. 54B3. And then the quantity to return. So you've picked the package size and the crop. You've told us what the variety is and what the treatment is. You've put the lot number in, and you've entered the quantity to return. So now you can submit that return. I do also want to mention, if you're, again, you have to scroll down. If you're returning using this option to do corn, make sure you put in the seed size as well as the other information. So I've got 8315RA to return, and it's R1 seed size. I need, and it is going to be Fortenza, Maxim Vibrance Quattro treatment. The lot number. 1PHW9. And I've only got one of those to return. So again, just make sure you put as much information in here as you can. So hybrid, seed size, treatment, lot number. And now I can submit my return. You should get a confirmation screen. And from here you can print, they call it the return packing list. I cannot do that from the demo site. It's just a function that doesn't work on the demo site. But it really just, it prints this form for the trucker. So let's go to the live site. Manage returns, return entry form. Next, I'm just going to add a product, and just to save us time, I'm going to be bad and I'm not going to put in all the information. 8315RA. We'll all pretend I put in seed size and treat. Oh, no, I can do that. Lot number. One, 3, and I'm going to return 1. So now I submit my return. And now from here I can print the packing list. As you can see, the form came up quite quickly on the live site. So this is the same PDF you'll get if you print it from the submitted forms option, which I'll show you in a minute. So this can be printed though and given to the trucker. Make sure you sign it and have the trucker sign it. So that's all there is to that option. Go back to my demo site. So we're done with this. So now we've entered a return and submitted it. So now the other option here is submitted seed return information. So best practices for returns is if you submit a wrong amount, so you've submitted the return and printed the form and then you realize you've made a mistake. You've returned 9 units of something, you only have 8. So on the, no, go back here. Sorry, so we're going to go to submitted seed return information. So when you hit that submitted seed return information, you will get all of the returns you've entered. And you can print the PDF for yourself or for the trucker. They're very similar, except the trucker has that room for the signature. So I'm just going to select one of these. So if you printed this form because the truck was coming, and then, or because you've been told they were going to pick up in a couple days, and you saw that you had returned 3 of this product, and you really only had 1 to return, you would mark that manually on the form. So you'd cross out the 3, you'd write in 1, you'd initial it. If you realize you missed product or reported less than you should, then you submit a new return form. In either case, if you're making a manual adjustment on the form or submitting a second return, you need to call your CSR because they plan the truckloads based on what's on these forms. So they need to know if there's been any change. So that's basically entering returns. I don't know, Arlene, if you have any questions at this time yet? If anybody would like to see any of that again?
Marg, I don't have any questions in yet, but I'm going to encourage anybody. There is a chat or questions tab at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. If you have any questions, I encourage you to type them in and we will get them over to Marg.
All right, so that's your 3 options under the admin tab for manage returns. Again, at the end, if somebody has a question, we will follow up on that. So the next topic on the agenda is entering point of sale. Entering point of sale is under the orders tab. You can select either from the drop down or from what appears on the screen. And it's not create grower order, it's down here. Report deliveries. Remember I said point of sale, report deliveries all means the same thing. And select the create point of sale info. If you have more than one user on your account, then you have to select the user. And your customer list will appear. So there's a lot of information captured just in this customer list by the color coding and other indicators. So if a customer is showing in black font, they don't have an order. If they're showing in red font, they have a current year's order. So they have either corn, soybeans, winter wheat, something on order for this season. If they're in blue, they've been delivered product. And over here, SP means they've got spring crops on order. FSP means they have fall and spring crops on order. And to the far right, there's even more, a little bit of additional information. This tells you what licenses they have. So M means they have a Monsanto license. D means they have a Dow Traits license, which is a Dow Traits All license, which is one that covers them in list for power core and future traits. If they have a U, that's an older license that doesn't cover them for enlist. So again, the customer list shows you lots of information. And the other thing is if you have a long customer list, which I'm sure many of you do, if you want to quickly navigate to a specific customer, it's based on the left-hand side, which is the business name, or if the customer doesn't have a business name, it's their last name. So just click on any customer name that's showing, and you type in the first couple letters of the name you want to navigate to. So this is navigated down to the last one on my list, Wheat Farms, because I typed in WH. So again, just click on any customer. I'm typing in WH. It's taking me down to Wheat Farms. So looking at this, then I see that this customer has orders in there, and I know that I delivered a certain amount of product to them. They kept it all and planted it all. So I click on that name because I want to go in and enter point of sale for that customer. I can do a double check on the left. Here's the customer information of the one I selected. Again, it shows license information. And then I select this customer. So this prompt is one that you'll only see if what you're submitting is for an Ontario customer. So we added this because it's part of the Class 12 pesticide regulations that you have to have a date of sale. Somewhere in your records you have to have a date of sale of when you sold that customer the Class 12 pesticide. So for this particular customer, and you want to enter it in the specific format that they say, so I'm going to say that this is being delivered. This was delivered yesterday, so that makes it the 20. Whoops, sorry. Oh, I doesn't want to do that. 22nd, and it's 2017. So March 22nd, 2017 is when I sold that customer that product I'm submitting. So as I said, this was one in red, so they already have an order in there. So now I'm looking at this order. So they had ordered 3 super boxes of this product, 8 of this one. So this is all super box product, which is good because then I can stress that you have to enter point of sale in packaged units. So not the equivalent units as shows in the second column, but as in packaged units. So this particular customer, they ordered this much, they took it, I didn't get any returns from them, so I'm going to enter exactly the same amounts in the delivered quantity. If in the end they had said that they weren't going to take this 1 unit, I would just leave that at 0. And then it prompts you to save your changes. So you can see down here we don't have anything in the delivered column. I'm going to save my changes. Tells me my changes are saved, and now it shows me how much I have delivered. So this person had 19 super boxes ordered for 700 equivalent units. They delivered 18, or they took possession of and kept 18 for 665 equivalent units. So it does a conversion for you from package to equivalent. So now I can use these quick links to select another customer. So I can go on and enter point of sale for other customers. So I'm just going to go back to that one. So I'm just going to put in SP to take me down to Speller, but it's not Speller Farms, it's Marg Speller I want to go into. Select this customer, so now you see my entries. I made a mistake. I just missed this one. He did take this product. So you can make modifications to this whenever you want. I'm going to save my changes. And now I'm going to select another customer from the quick links. Go down, and we're going to look at this Wheat Farms order. So he only had fall. So it's in blue, indicating he's got deliveries. So I'm going to select him. But when it opens up, I don't see any point of sale. It's because this was a fall crop. And for those who have the opportunity to purchase winter wheat, you need to toggle between the crop types to see the winter wheat. So that's one thing you can check. If something seems strange and you can't see your point of sale, make sure you're in the right crop. So now I can see that the Bransons entered, it's 1 super box and 40 equivalent units. I can go and select another customer. Show 2 brothers. Now let's show 3 sisters. Nope. 2 brothers. Select this customer. Now, this is telling me this customer has product on order that they don't have a license for. So pay attention to these prompts. So it says you've ordered a product for Dow AgroSciences, so they have this Smart Stacks RA on order, but in their customer record they don't have a Dow license number. So you need to find out what their license number is, or you need to get them to sign a form. You can print the form straight from here. It will produce a pre-populated form. So it's got the information in there that is in their customer record. It's got your seed partner information filled out. So you just print this, take it to them. You should ask them to review this information to make sure you have their correct postal code and the phone number they want to use. Maybe they want to add a cell phone number. They fill out the top and sign it. And then when the number comes back, it will automatically be generated into the customer record. So that's what this prompt is for too. And it would say there's a Monsanto number missing if there was a Monsanto. You cannot print Monsanto forms from this website. Monsanto manages all their trade agreement forms, so you would have to call their 1-800 number. It's 1-800-667-4944 if you needed more copies. Each of you should receive a booklet in the mail every year from Monsanto with, I believe it's 10 copies in it. So if you run out or you didn't receive that, then you need to call that customer care number. I'm going to select another customer. Let's go to Friendly Farms. I'm going to go to the printable order form. So that's another quick link here. So you can print this as a record of sale for your customer. So in Ontario, you'll see that date of sale. That's the other thing. If you live in Western Canada, if you're not selling to an Ontario customer, you shouldn't see that prompt. Or if you're living in the Maritimes, you shouldn't see that prompt. Now, all that's been delivered is the Branson here, so not too much showing on this invoice. Let's go to one last, and then we'll move on. So printable order form. So this particular one you can see, it's easy to identify. Down in the description in the middle of the form there, it has 8315 and it shows that the Fortenza is not a Class 12 pesticide, but the product treated with Cruiser Max is a Class 12 pesticide. So you have what you need to meet the Ontario regulations. You have the date of sale. You have all the customer information. On the left there, you have identified line by line what's a Class 12 pesticide. And you can right-click, at least on most computers, you can right-click and do a print preview and then print that form. And it has all the terms and conditions as well when you print it out. So that's that form, the printable order form. That's pretty much the other thing I should show you is, so if you have a customer who's in black, so they don't have an order in the system, but if you've sold them product and you need to do that delivery, you use the Add More button. So you select the customer. I'm going to have to fill in a date again, so 04/01/17. So he doesn't have anything on order, but I can use the Add More button or the Add New button. Then I search for the product by name, or you can search for by crop and trait. So I know that what I sold this person was 8315 RA, so I'm putting that in the search button. Click search, and the list of those products appears. So what I sold to him was 8315 RA with Fortenza. So I click on that name. And this is basically the same function as in the order form. So now you want to be careful you select the right product. So what I sold him was Fortenza R2 in bags. So I'm going to put that I sold him 10 bags of that. So you just put it in, and then you click the Add Plus button. And now that product will appear up here as delivered. You don't have any ordered because you didn't have a customer order. So now you have delivered, because you don't want to create a customer order at the time of year when you're entering deliveries, or your customer service rep might think he needs to ship you some product. So you just want to create it as a delivery at this time of year. So I think I've pretty much covered what I wanted to cover there for entering point of sale. So unless there's questions, I'll move on to how you help to reconcile your point of sale using a couple of new reports that have been created for you.
Hey, Marg, there was only one comment. It was actually at the end of the last section of your talk, and it was a note from Carolyn saying that the reason the empty boxes are put on a different return form than the product is because the boxes go to a totally different location than the products returned. She thought that was important for everybody to understand why those were different forms.
Excellent. Thank you, Carolyn. Right, so to use those new reports, they're actually under the same spot as your Create Point of Sale. So the first one is this Grower Point of Sale. So it's a live report. So I've worked with some of you in the past, and you enter your point of sale during the day, and then you want to see if you've missed anybody or what you've entered, and you can't really see that until the next day because the reports have to refresh overnight. Well, this is a live report, so anything you've entered right up until you generate this report should be visible. So I'm just going to click on the Grower Point of Sale report, and the other thing is these have been formatted to generate as an Excel, so not as a text file that you then have to reformat. So this will generate as an Excel file. So you click on it, it tells you your report's being generated. Some days it'll take longer than others. So now it says click on the document to download. So I'm going to click on it. Here's where I will caution you that you don't want to select just the open because we found that when you open it that way, it won't let you enable editing. So it won't let you change anything on the form, on the report, and it won't let you save it. So you either select Save or Save As. So if I select Save As, it wants me to tell it where in my files I'm going to save it. So, but as you can see, it's a Microsoft Excel worksheet. There's no formatting required. So I'm going to save it there. Now, some of you will get a prompt here and you can open it from here. Others of you will have to maneuver to the spot where you saved it and open it from there. So this is where I saved it. I'm going to open it. So this is the Grower Point of Sale live report. And as I said, because it's generated from a website, it opens up in a protected view and you have to enable editing. So all this is a snapshot of what's been reported for point of sale. So you've got your business name, you got the customer's first and last name, you have the product, and this is by hybrid variety. Now we've separated by treatment as well in our naming convention, but if it didn't divide them by treatment here, you see it does in this column. And this again is very important for Ontario because you need to reconcile by treatment as well as by hybrid or variety. You have to make sure you've reported 100% by treatment for corn and soybeans in Ontario. So then you can look to the right. So we're looking at this customer ZZZ, and he's reported 100 units of Ava treated with fibrins. So a snapshot of what you've done. So you can look at this list. You know what you've sold to each of your customers. It identifies if you've missed reporting something to a particular customer. That's that one live report. All right. Again, these are under the Orders tab, not Reports. So I'm going to go down, and now I want to look at in-ground versus point of sale. So this is overall for the dealership, what I've reported and what I should be reporting. So this says Posey Completion Report is live. Now, this should say March 23rd because I'm on the demo site and we did the data dump on the 16th. It looks like it's only updated till the 16th, but this should include everything I've just done as well as what was done previously. So again, it's got the download defaulted to Excel. It's a live report, so it might take a little while to generate. You click on it, and this time I'm going to choose the Save option. So I'm going to click Save, and then just open from my prompt down here. Again, it opens in protected view. I have to enable editing. So this report has in-ground units. So what the in-ground units are, the total units we feel you need to report. So that's based on what you've been invoiced originally as shipment, anything that's been transferred in and out, anything that's been returned, all those will be summed up in the in-ground units, and that's equivalent units. So this is what we believe you need to report. Now, if you've got a late return that hasn't been processed, it won't be off. So it's anything that you've received an invoice for should show up in these in-ground units. You can see that for this particular product, they had 10 in-ground units. They've reported 10, so they're 100% reported. For this product, they had 790 in-ground. They've reported 407, so they're only 52% reported. They still have 383 to report to the correct customers. Here they're 100% reported of this product. So as you go on and you get point of sale almost complete, this is a good way to see which products aren't totally correctly reported. Now, because I just opened it, I'm going to save as. I'm going to save it in my files. So now I can fiddle with that report, and I could sort in different ways, whatever. So now I have that report to look at to help me reconcile my point of sale. Save out this other report. All right, so those are those two reports. So under the Orders tab, point of sale, you select one of these two reports. There is a third report that shows you orders versus point of sale by customer, but it's under the reports. The order summary, trade compliance reporting. It's the grower orders versus POSI report. So you display usually runs off the page. I always download. I'm going to select save. I'm going to open from the prompt down here. So it opens in Excel. So this one has all kinds of information you might find useful for license compliance, as well as monitoring your point of sale reporting. So I'm just going to do a little bit of formatting here. It doesn't necessarily format so you can see all the headers, so I'm just going to right click. Oh, I have to enable editing. Yes, if it won't let you do anything, make sure you enable editing. Right, so again, I'm just going to highlight all the headers. I'm going to right click, format cells, alignment, wrap text, just so I can see everything. So now I want to look at this report. So what it can tell me, so this report, this is ordered quantity, and you just have to be careful you don't get confused between in-ground units and ordered quantity. So ordered quantity, that's what this customer, so Farm 111, he had ordered 10 units of this product. So he's ordered 10 units of this product. I haven't delivered any to him. So this could jog my memory to say, oh yeah, he did take delivery of that. I need to enter his point of sale for that product. Now you might have a case where you had to create the point of sale without having a customer order. So you can see that I've entered 10 units of 8315RA with Fortenza and that's seed size R2, and I've entered point of sale for 50 units of F1s. There's no customer order showing because there wasn't one, but this is correctly reported. I did sell to that customer. So ordered quantity versus delivered quantity. But this report also shows all kinds of license information. Unfortunately, the Dow license number, because they're 13 digits long, don't show up very nicely on this report, so it also requires a formatting trick. So you highlight them, you right-click, format cells, want it in a number format, and it defaults to 2 decimal places. You have to lower that to 1 decimal place, so it's number format, 0 decimal places. Click OK, and then you've got the correct license numbers to look at. So this shows you for each line of product for each customer, so the customer information is there to the right. Shows you whether they require a certain trait license. So this says Monsanto's required. No, that's because it's a Dow Smart Stacks product. Here, Monsanto's required. Yes, because it's a Roundup Ready 2-yield soybean. So this product requires a license. They have the TUA, so you know that you don't have to worry about anything there. Again, this report is generated from DSLink, so it's based on license information that is in the customer record. So if you haven't entered the TUA number in the customer record, this won't recognize that. And you can look down here, you see that this customer still has an old number that's no longer valid. This was called an old TAP number for Monsanto. So any number that starts with an S is no longer valid. So you need to find out whether that customer has a valid TSA number and enter that in. And when you enter license numbers in the customer record, the Monsanto ones, you should use a capital T, and they should all have 7 digits, and that helps identify them as a valid record. Again, here you have Dow. The license is required, so this person's compliant. License is required. This person is not compliant. They don't have a license. Some of our products require Syngenta licenses, none on order for this dealer, but if so, then that information can also be captured here. So lots of trait licensing information, and then your comparison between ordered quantity and delivered quantity can be found in this report. So this is the grower orders versus POSI report, and it's under reports, order summary, trait compliance reporting at the bottom there. That's how you get to that report. So those are the 3 reports that will help you monitor and reconcile your point of sale. And if you want additional help with looking at the information on them or formatting the information on them, just call me anytime. I'm happy to help. So if there's any questions on that, I can answer those now, or I can go on and show you some other ways to monitor trait compliance and find out whether your customers have licenses they need.
Marg, there isn't any questions right now, so continue on and we'll just keep up.
All right. So one of the good places to look is under the Admin tab, Manage Grower Agreements. So you click on there, it's going to display all your customers, and it's going to tell you whether they're compliant or not. Now, I had a problem with the demo site earlier today where it said somebody wasn't compliant, but they actually were. So I think that's just a glitch in the demo, so we'll just ignore that if it happens to come up. So we have Farmer 111. It says he's not Dow compliant. So that should mean he has Dow product on order, but he doesn't have a license in his customer record. It says he has a Monsanto agreement and he's Monsanto compliant. Now, so this screen tells you compliance for Monsanto, Syngenta, and Dow, but again, it only allows you to print the Dow agreements from this. You cannot print the Syngenta or the Monsanto. The Syngenta are stored in the document section in DSLink under the Trait Stewardship tab, or in the Trait Stewardship folder, and the Monsanto has to be received from Monsanto, either in that booklet you get every year or by calling their customer care number. So I'm just going to show you a couple. So again, from this, you can print them either in French or English. So I'm going to print this one because he's not Dow compliant. He needs a Dow license. And then I have another one down here who's not Dow compliant. I'm going to select him. Now, in some cases, it might say they're not Dow compliant, or it might say they don't have a license, but that they are compliant. That would mean that they don't have any Dow product on order. They only have Roundup Ready Yield soybeans on order, or they only have wheat on order. So they don't have anything on order that requires a Dow license. So it can say they're compliant even if they don't have a license in their record. So no and no. No and no, these two need it. So then you hit the print button. It should generate as a PDF. I'm going to get that a little smaller so you can see more of it. So again, it's pre-populated with the information that's in your customer record in DSLink. So saves a lot of writing for your customer. It's got your information on it. And all they have to do is fill out that top part and sign. Again, I caution you, have them review the information here in case there's anything that's wrong in their record or if they want to add a cell phone number. It helps us to match licenses to customers if we have good, complete information. So that's how you can print a pre-populated form from, I think I just closed out my screen. Sorry about that. So I have to log back in. So I'm back in. So that was under Admin, Manage Grower Agreements. So you can print the grower agreements you need. That's one way to look at it. The other thing is the reports under the Order Summary Trait Compliance Reporting. At any time, you can click on the Unlicensed Grower Report and it will show you who's got something on order that they're not licensed for. So this time of year, all the compliance information is based on orders in the system. Later, when point of sale is fairly complete, we'll flip that switch so that then it will look at compliance based on point of sale. Because if you had a couple growers who you didn't have an order for, you sold them product, we might have missed that they aren't compliant when we ran those earlier reports. So I'm running the Unlicensed Grower Report. This is based on orders. I'm going to download as Excel. I'm going to click the Save option and open it here. Enable editing. So this only lists those customers who are missing a license. And to the right, it tells me what license they're missing. So they have 6 units of Dow on order. They are Dow compliant, but they aren't Monsanto compliant. They have 55 units of Monsanto on order, but they don't have a license number in their record. We need to get that license number in there. So that Unlicensed Grower Report, and we generate these usually about this time of year and send them out, so you'll probably be getting one from me sometime in the next 2 weeks. But if you want to get ahead of it, please run this report and see who you need to get license information from or get agreements signed. So those are the main ways to monitor compliance. So we've only got 6 minutes left. Open it up for questions, comments.
Okay, I don't have any questions on the chat board, but I'm going to unmute, and if you want to speak instead of type, go ahead. We'll leave it for about a minute. If nobody speaks up, then I'll jump back on and we'll close off.
Okay.
So I'm going to unmute.
The conference has been unmuted.
So did anybody have any questions? Something they want to see again? Something they've used and need help with? Please feel free to follow up with me after the call too if you think of something or if I went too fast through one of the areas. And was there something you expected to learn on this webinar that you didn't? I'd like to know that as well. I'll just take this opportunity, since I still have a captive audience, to show you under Documents, the Trait Stewardship folder. So here's where we have the most current Syngenta agreement. We have the Corn Product Use Guide, and we're getting an updated version of that shortly. And here's another piece that might help you. We call it the Trait Stewardship Cheat Sheet. And the purpose of that information, if it will open for me, is so it lists all of our products that are Dow AgroSciences traits and tells you how to get the agreement form to get it signed. It lists, so Enlist, these are all Enlist products across the middle here. They require both the Dow AgroSciences and a Monsanto agreement. So you would follow the Monsanto information to get the Monsanto and the Dow information to get the Dow licenses signed for those products. It lists the Monsanto products and tells you the 1-800 number to call if you don't have licenses. And also, if you're pretty sure that customer has a Monsanto license, you can call that number, give them the customer name and information, they can tell you what their license number is if they have one. So that 1-800-667-4944 is a good number to have on hand, and you can get that from this cheat sheet. And then Syngenta products and how to get that. So you can print that from this same folder. Right there. Or you can call Syngenta. So that's where you can find some other trait information. All right, with that, if there's no questions.
Okay, thanks everybody for joining us today. We hope that you found it helpful. If you have any questions on anything that Marg covered, please feel free to contact your local Dow Seeds territory sales rep or Marg directly if you need some follow-up. When you jump off of this webinar, you are going to be prompted to answer a couple of questions on a survey. So we'd love to hear what you thought about the webinar, and that's where you can let Marg know if there are things that you would prefer to have covered in another one. Les, do you have something to say?
Well, no, I was just asking with the color. I'm red-green colorblind, so on the point of sale, blue is when we've already reconciled it. Red is there's an order and we need to do some work, or vice versa, sorry. Just wondering if you could get that red turned to yellow. It's just an easier for people with color blindness to see that quickly. Otherwise, we really have to take a look at it. It's not a big issue. We learned to work around it, but I thought I would ask.
Okay, so the new feature that they're working on, where they're adding another color, they're adding green for those customers who don't have a current order, who don't have current point of sale, but who had point of sale the previous year. So that tells the dealer that Okay, this is a customer I sold to last year but don't have an order for this year. That's green. That's not going to be helpful, is it?
No, it's going to create even more confusion.
So what colors are good for colorblind?
Well,
Yellow?
everybody's
What
a
else?
little bit different, but if you're red-green color deficient, blue and yellow really works well. So on a screen like this on the computer or when we're in seminars, when people highlight it red-green, yeah, that's completely not helpful at all. It just creates. So blue and yellow are really good. Sometimes if you bold it, there's a few other things that we try to get around with, and actually out here, Calvin and I have worked out ways that, if he's sending me something that I need to take a look at, red, green doesn't work. I'll just gloss over it and I won't see any changes needed. But if we do have colors or bolding or gray out that line on an Excel spreadsheet, that just sometimes is a little bit helpful. Again, we figure out ways to get around it, but it just would make life easier. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I thought I would ask. No worries. Thanks, guys. Great.
I know at least one other, so I won't make any promises, but I will bring it up.
Well, I thought I would ask you. Thanks, Marg. Great
Perfect.
seminar. Appreciate it.
Patrice, do you have anything you want to say?
No, it was a great seminar. I just noticed when we go live, something maybe there is a delay on the screen for the participants. So
Okay.
it's easier when we have slides. But I understand that it's more active when we can play with active site.
Right. Yeah, there's a delay sometimes. Okay, I'm going to end the webinar. Thank you all for joining us. And if you wouldn't mind taking a few seconds to answer the survey that you're going to be prompted to do, that would be fantastic. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.